So, today we're going to be going over 7 fragrances that, in my opinion, will never go out of style. You can basically invest your money in each of these 7 designer fragrances right now in 2021, really rolling up on 2022 here, and be rest assured that in 5, 10, 15 years from now, you're still going to be able to rock these and smell fantastic. You're going to be able to crush the heck out of it. And you're going to still be smelling better than 99% of guys out there who are either not wearing anything at all or are wearing super generic stuff, whether it be, the very basic TJ Maxx bin Nautica Blue fragrances or Axe body spray, that type of stuff. You're going to be crushing them and smelling 10 times better. There are for sure fragrances that can go in and out of style. I mean, look at aromatic fougères, look at that type of thing, the traditional masculine fragrances for men, which a lot of guys would smell these days and smell old school and dated. May think it smells like their grandpa or something. Back when those were in and popular, people weren't saying that they smelled like their grandpa. They just thought that was the norm because that was the norm. And really, it's kind of the same thing now. We have these super sweet fragrances coming out that smells normal right now, but in some time, those are not really going to be the in thing anymore. But these here will always kind of remain to just smell like a man, just smell masculine, smell sexy, and get the job done. Designer fragrances only, all on the affordable side, and there are choices that you wouldn't normally expect. The Versace Pour Homme types and fragrances like that, Dior Sauvage, even Bleu de Chanel, all of those are discluded. We're going to be covering some stuff that you wouldn't normally think of. Let's get it. And also, Merry Christmas if you're watching this on Christmas Day. Thank you for tuning in. I will also link these down below, so if you want to grab any of these for yourself, you can use those links. Use that FragranceNet 35% off code link down below to get the best deal. If you got some extra money jingling around in your pocket from the holidays here, get you some. Let's get us some here. First up, we have Azzaro Chrome, just the OG original fragrance that you may forget about, but it is still very much a thing that does exist. And yes, this is a ginormous, pointless 200 ml bottle. It looks a little bit ridiculous, but it's kind of cool. Lemon, bergamot, musk. It's metallic, it's citrusy, it's fresh, it's clean. It's masculine. Sure, it's kind of a basic smelling scent these days, and typically I don't really talk about this one on the channel, so it's kind of a different choice here, but it is one that will hold up years from now, and it has been out for years already and still smells great. It's hard to knock and dethrone a clean, fresh citrus fragrance that smells like you just stepped out of the shower and smells like you're just freshly bathed, like you're a clean, put-together person. That hopefully will never go out of style. I hope the in thing doesn't become where people walk around smelling like crap and body odor. If it does, then these will be dethroned, but I really don't think that's going to happen. At least I hope not. This next fragrance, we have Dior Homme Sport. This happens to be the 2017 version. Blood orange, grapefruit, and pink pepper. So what's interesting about the 2017 and where this one got really divisive was because in this version here, they took out the iris note, which is kind of the main staple of the Dior Homme line. When you think Dior Homme, you think iris for the most part, except for this and Dior Homme Cologne, I suppose. Basically everything else, unless I'm missing something obvious here, has iris in it to some extent. Dior Homme Sport 2008, Dior Homme Sport 2012, they have iris. So when the 2017 version came out and they took that out, the die-hard iris fans were a little bit upset, and I was one of those people at that time. I found myself reaching for the 2012 and even some of the 2008 more than, at the time, the new version. I guess it's still the newest version, but 2017, not really new. You get some spiciness from the pink pepper. The blood orange gives it a nice, fresh, vibrant opening. This one hasn't been sprayed in a while. As you can see, the grapefruit also gives off a fruitiness. What this does still have is the Dior classy smell about it. It's a fragrance from a very prestigious designer brand. You can get this one on discounters. It's still not cheap, but again, it has that quality, it has that blend, it has that smoothness, it has this refined, refreshing, sexy, clean smell that I don't think will ever get old or will ever go out of style. It smells clean, it smells refined, it smells like a gentleman's fragrance, and one that you should definitely consider adding to your collection if you don't yet have it. It's slept on these days. You don't really hear it talked about. I don't really talk about it that much anymore, but it is one that is nice to have stashed away for rainy days or for a time when you just want to change it up and still smell relevant. So for this next one, we'll go back to another more affordable fragrance, and we'll also go with one that is on the sweeter side. So the first two we covered here have been fresh, kind of citrus, clean smelling. This one has a bit more depth going on, but again, at an affordable price, 30-40 bucks. This one's Halloween Man X. It has coffee, it has whiskey, it has tonka bean, I believe some leather. Essentially, it is a smoother, sweeter fragrance. Now, sure, it does have that sweetness, so I know sweetness in fragrances is kind of the trend right now, but it's not quite to the level, at least for me, of something like Armani Code Profumo, that level, or any of the other kind of popular, trendy, really sweet, almost bubblegummy fragrances. It doesn't fit into there. I really don't see this one ever smelling dated or out of style. I mean, it's a nice boozy, sweet, sexy, warm, and inviting date night fragrance for men that I don't think you can go wrong with ever. Just smells really nice, you know. It's one that I think can fit in. It's one that a lot of guys across a bunch of different ages can wear and pull off, whether you are 18, 19, early 20s, or 30s, 40s, 50s. I think if you like how it smells, it can be pulled off without thinking twice. And again, when you factor in that price point around the $30 to $40 range, I don't think that's terrible. I think that's actually really, really good deal for this one. I think this kind of remains as one of the better bang for your buck fragrances out there for men in the sweet category. And again, I don't think this is going to go out of style anytime soon. Another fresh fragrance next, and this one's from Yves Saint Laurent. It is Y Fraiche. Lemon, mint, ginger, and cedarwood. So this is obviously their fresh take on Yves Saint Laurent Y, which is already fresh, but this is more fresh and less sweet. So yeah, the Y fragrances, EDT, EDP, the new Parfum, Live, do have a bit of that bubblegummy sweetness, the modern trendy thing, which, you know, it's hard to think that it would go out of style, but it may, you know, for sure that won't be the trendy thing anymore at some point. And so I didn't want to include any of those. But this one has this nice green minty pop, this nice spicy ginger, this nice punchy lemon. This fragrance smells great. Been a big fan of it ever since it first came out. Super refreshing, super satisfying. One that cools you off and makes you feel refreshed in the summertime. I mean, when you look at the bottle, it represents the scent perfectly. I love, love, love frosted glass on fragrances. I think it looks great. You have the white accenting here. It looks like a clean, fresh scent, and that's exactly what it is. It's just minus the sweetness that you get from the other Y fragrances. So I really, really enjoy it a lot. It's one that I would reach for on really hot days in the summertime where, you know, the EDT, the EDP, and especially the Parfum would be a bit too sweet for those super hot days. So you could pull it off, and there would be times over the summer where I did wear the Eau de Parfum when it was relatively warm outside. I'm okay with a bit of sweetness like that. But, you know, for days where it was miserable, super humid, and I didn't want to be bothered by my scent or bother other people, this type of thing is so cooling and so refreshing that it just works. I mean, this is the type of thing that you can throw in your freezer, and then when you spray it on your skin, it's like cold and refreshing, you know, that type of thing, kind of like Versace Eau Fraiche. That's what this one's all about. I love it, and with this type of DNA, I don't think it can ever get old. Next up from Givenchy, this one is Gentleman Eau de Toilette 2017. So make sure you get the 2017. Pear, iris, lavender. It's fruity. It's a bit kind of sweet from the iris, floral, fresh and clean from the lavender. Oh, this is so, so great. I love that opening. Such a good scent. This was, believe it or not, actually one of the last Gentleman fragrances that I got. So I believe, actually I don't believe, I know that I got the newest version, the Eau de Toilette Intense, before I got this. So I had every single other fragrance except for this one first because I overshadowed it, because I saw all of the flankers. New ones are coming out basically every year. I was focusing on those. I didn't think this one's going to bring much to the table, but it does. It brings a lot to the table. It's unique. It's different. It's so refreshing, and I wish I would have gotten this one way sooner. I love the pear note in here. It gives it a uniqueness that note isn't normally used all that often in men's fragrances. You know, another fragrance that comes to mind is Ultramale, where it uses that pear, and that fragrance stands out like crazy. They're completely different scents, Ultramale in this one, but you know, they do share pear. It's just a note that isn't used all that often, but I think should be used more, especially when done right like this. Absolutely great fragrance that, again, is citrus, fruity leaning. I don't think this is ever going to smell old. Second to last fragrance, we have an absolute classic. A fragrance that is so special to me in so many different ways. It was one that kind of opened my eyes up to this other side of the fragrance world. You know, when I was starting out, it was all about freshies and aquatics, and that's just what I was into. And so when I smelled this for the first time, I was just captivated. And from Dolce & Gabbana, it is the one. Yeah, this bottle, the Eau de Toilette. Now, the EDP is stronger, it's more rich, but the EDT is a bit more fresh, slightly more bright, and I really like the EDT. I do. I think it smells great. I will smell, I will spray the EDT a lot of times. I do give it some attention. It's not just about the EDP for me. I mean, that one is primarily the one I go for a lot of times, but sometimes I do like the EDT. I don't think this is necessarily a throwaway. I think if you're between the two, definitely get the EDP. But if you have a true love and passion for this scent DNA, I think this one is worth having around. I mean, this stuff to me smells absolutely gorgeous. I love that grapefruit pop you get out of this one. You get it more so in the EDT than the EDP. Immediately following is the amber, the cardamom spiciness. Oh man, it smells so great. Nice, hearty, rich pipe tobacco smell in the base. Such a beautiful work of art fragrance that has already been tried, tested, and proven at this point, and it's definitely not going out of style anytime soon. It's still on the top of the charts. It's still being worn all over the place. This is one of those things that I can just sit here and smell and smile all day. Truly special stuff here. Dolce & Gabbana, the One EDT. It's not going anywhere. Last up, we have another Dolce & Gabbana. Didn't mean for this to happen back to back here, but it is from a different line. It's from their light blue line, and it's Eau Intense. C notes, grapefruit and amberwood. It's salty, it's watery, it's aquatic, it's citrusy, it's fresh, it's clean. It's light blue. I don't think anything else needs to be said. Now, if I'm between light blue, Pour Homme EDT, the original, and Eau Intense, the Eau de Parfum, I believe is what it is. Yeah, EDP. I would go for this one any day here. I think this one is miles better, and you do get better performance out of it. Again, that's not to say that the EDT is a throwaway. You know, like we talked about with Dolce & Gabbana, the one. If you have a true passion, you have a true love for this fragrance DNA, then it's worth owning. You know, I have the EDT. I like how it smells. But in a lot of applications, in a lot of situations, I do reach for the EDP, Eau Intense more. And again, if you are purchasing for yourself and you're between one or the other, usually most times I would say get the EDP, get the Intense. Great fragrance, smells amazing still to this day. This is a DNA that you can rock and feel and smell great. You're going to feel so confident. You're going to feel so on top of the world when you wear light blue Intense. Same with Dolce & Gabbana, the one. Same with all these fragrances here. You know, I think that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. That's what makes all of these so special, is no matter who you are, no matter how old you are, no matter if it's 10 years, 15 years in the future, you can rock these with confidence and you will feel amazing because you know you're going to smell good. They're going to hold up to the test of time. Some of these are older than others and they've been holding up so far, and they're going to continue to do so. Remember, I will provide links to all of these down below if you want to pick them up or check them out. That fragrance, that 35% off link will be down there as well. Hope you guys have a great Christmas today with friends, family. Make sure you have a safe one. And as always, we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.